good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show on this Friday edition. I'm happy to say the Lord woke me up, blessed me with another day to walk this good earth, and planted my feet on the floor and made sure that I got to our Black Talk radio station. Happy to be greeted at the door by producer Gerard, and sitting next to me is none other than Eddie Francis.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Eddie. Good morning. Got your TSU gear on.
Yep.
Yeah. You got different kinds of school support. The ones that you attended, graduated from, been to,
yeah, exactly.
worked for.
Yeah, no, I keep joking that one day I'm going to do a video throwing down all the shirts of all the colleges and universities I've been affiliated with in some way. Well, both Halima and I've been joking about that. And, I'm sure it's going to get a lot of jokes from a lot of people. But yeah, between the two of us, it's like 11, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when, how the high school athletes do different kinds of videos when they are concerning which school to pick, particularly with sports athletics. And they, in some cases, lay out the caps.
Yeah.
And, these are the ones that, made the final list. And they joke around and pick one and then put it down and pick another one, put it down, and then kind of do a reveal with which one they actually do, or take off their shirt.
Yeah.
And, that kind of thing. But these days, with the college athletes, they can do that as they are graduating or leaving school and still have like 5 different caps where they actually played.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, goodness. There's like the one quarterback. I think it was a young man who played for Miami last year, University of Miami. And I think he had been to like 3 or 4 different colleges. And there's one quarterback who's been to 7.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think there's one who's been to 5 or 7
of them. I
can't remember the young
man's name. There's a guy from Louisiana who's been to at least 5.
Yeah.
A 4 or 5-star player out of high school.
Yeah, so now it's just a way of life that these characters are just gonna bounce from one to the other, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I actually told somebody, whatever you do not buy that person's jersey.
You're right.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Or you're just going to be adding another $50 or $60 jersey to your wardrobe.
That's it. And if they don't become some, legendary athlete, it's not like the jersey is going to hold a whole lot of value.
No, you can't exactly put it online and say anybody interested.
No. You bought it for 50. People going to buy it for 20. It's
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, it looks gorgeous outside to me. Had a feel-good temperature of about 78 degrees when I was coming over, getting out of the car. And looks like it's going to still be in that, that range. So about 78 now, but going up to 83 by mid-morning or so. And looks like it's going to then bounce up and go a bit more than that. So we could hit about 85. But still, it's not the 90s.
No, not yet.
It could be.
No.
And
it is pretty cool for this time of year.
It is. So if you're looking outside and you see this bright sunny day, just realize that it looks like it's probably going to turn to some cloudiness and that there will be some rain in some parts. So it doesn't look like it's going to be all over the place, but you plan for a partly cloudy day and possible showers in some locations. And the sun did come up, and it's scheduled to go down just before 8. I have to say, I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rather than going down by 6:30 or so, it's like 7:58.
Yeah.
And Cheryl and I were at home and we're talking and talking. It's like, yeah, we should go for a walk. And then it's like, oh, no, it's getting late. And it's like, we still got 25 minutes of daylight. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's great. It's great. So enjoy the weather. Enjoy your Friday, the beginning of the weekend for some folks. Some folks are going to get in 2, 3, 4 hours of work and head on into the ease of the weekend. Those of you who have to do the full shift, hang in there. The day will go by and you'll get to your weekend soon enough. The world turns and things keep going in our city and in our state, in our country, and in the world. So we've got a number of things coming up that we'll have on the show today, and we'll just keep watching, some of the other things. But I'm really interested in watching this Los Angeles mayoral election contest. Because, we are so far away from every election being determined on election night. And the way California works for this mayoral election, the incumbent, Karen Bass, former congresswoman, was elected mayor of Los Angeles. She has secured a spot in the runoff. Didn't get enough votes at this time to get 50%, and then statistically, it looks like that's pretty impossible. So folks have said that she secured the number one spot in a runoff. But the folks who are in second and third seem to be battling for second place, and though that was several days ago, because the way the vote works out there, they can take votes like a week later. So as long as it was postmarked before the election, if you vote by mail, the ballots can be accepted for up to a week after. If they were postmarked, actually not the day before, that's here. In California, it's the postmarked by election day.
Oh, okay.
So
no wonder.
It could be postmarked on your way home from the family picnic on election day, and then there's still a week. And just to kind of give you some context, when Karen Bass won the last time, she was at this point losing. And there was another candidate winning. But with that additional week of votes, she went into number one and became the mayor of LA. Wow. So don't know what might happen with that. So we're going to be talking with True from Blurred Fest momentarily. If you don't know what a blurred is, I have to say, having heard from some of you all and watched some of you all online, whether you like it or not, or whether you know or not, you are a blurred. Not everybody is a blurred, but some of us are. And so you might as well know what that's about and what event is happening this weekend. So we're going to be talking with him after the break. And then we're going to be talking with retired judge, city council appointed, Orleans Parish Criminal Court Clerk, temporary, Calvin Johnson will be right here. So we'll be hearing from him as well. We got much more. We're going to break. It's 7:10 a.m. This is WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. As BET's co-founder, Sheila Johnson has a ton of experience in media, but a lot's changed since she first got the black-focused entertainment cable network off the ground. Johnson spoke to Bloomberg about the state of media and what black audiences might be seeking out now.
I just think that the landscape and the racial landscape of what African Americans are watching is changing. And I just think that we have got such a broad perspective of people out there that want something different, especially this younger generation. So we need to reevaluate what are the goals of black media and what are the answers? What is it out there that we need to answer?
According to Nielsen, just over 50% of black viewers feel there isn't enough content on TV from people of their identity group. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
New Orleans, the city of festivals and second chances. This is Mr. Rocky of Faithers in Jesus the Christ, inviting everyone to come to the table of grace. No matter where you are or what you're dealing with, guilt, bad habits, mistakes, or heavy hearts, Jesus still calls us his friend, and his grace is waiting for us. Tune in to WBOK 1230 AM or watch live on Facebook or Instagram. We'll reflect on his work on the cross, his resurrection, his ascension, and the hope of his return for we who that believe and have received him by faith. So join us at the table of grace, where mercy is fresh, forgiveness is real, and grace is served for people like you and me.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Back to the Good Morning Show. It is 7:14 a.m. If you need to be somewhere at 7:15, oh my! I sure hope that you are real close. Perhaps walking in the door, and you're walking towards your desk, your cubicle, your workspace, if that's what you do. And otherwise, I hope you're just sliding to the other side of the bed and grabbing a laptop and firing it up and getting ready to go. Look, we're jumping into conversation with True from Blurred Fest, and you're going to learn, some of you learn what a blurred is, and a lot of you will hear about what's happening this weekend. I am Will Sutton, and I am here with Eddie Francis. So, True, good morning. Welcome back to WBOK.
Thank you very much.
What is a blurred?
A blurred, the word blurred is a portmanteau of black nerd. In every other part of this country that myself or any of our planning committee have gone to, nerd has been accepted as a at least neutral self-identifier for probably 30 years at least. And blurred for black nerd has been around for at least 20. For some reason, New Orleans is a little slow to adopt those terms. So when I go around with my blacknerdfestival.com business cards and hand them to people, sometimes their reaction is less than positive.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten, The first thing was that very few people had even heard the term blurred, which was a shock to me. But when we broke it down, and it's a black nerd, they didn't necessarily take that too kindly. Like, I've handed the card to people, and they look at it, and they look at me, and they look at the card, and they're like, "What you trying to say? Why you hand me this card? Do I look like a nerd?" And I'm like, "Well, my brother, you are at a comic book convention in cosplay." So I mean, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, I mean, I'm not telling you who you are, but I'm a nerd. My friends are nerds. I think I can spot a nerd, and you look like a nerd to me.
Yeah, I mean, because the question is, are you about to go to the store like that? Are you going to go to church like that? I mean, what are you doing? You're dressed like Cyclops, for goodness sakes. I mean, what do you...
Yeah. So that's actually one of the challenges that we face, trying to figure out how to bridge that linguistic gap, because for a couple of reasons. One is that I think the growth of our event, we started in 2019, and we're still, relatively small for a con. And I think that is because the majority of our target audience doesn't know that they're our target audience. They don't know that we're trying to serve their interests, that we are doing things that they would like, because they don't associate the term nerd, or don't know what a blurred is, and they don't associate the term nerd with themselves.
So do all blurreds dress up?
No. I mean, cosplay is like, it's a commitment, and to varying degrees of intensity. And I suspect that there is perhaps a higher than average percentage of people on the spectrum who tend to hyperfixate on things and can be like, I'm going to make my own Ninja Turtles outfit, and it's just going to be the next 2,000 hours of my life. Not unlike some things that this city is familiar with, spending a year to make a costume that you're going to wear for a day, that I won't speak of, because when I have spoken of those things, they don't really like that comparison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
okay. Well, I'll give you an example. For our 2024 event, I really wanted to have a panel with half the panel being traditional Black masking culture bearers, like Skull and Bones or Indians, and the other half contemporary Black cosplayers, to try and compare and contrast the two practices. Because essentially, the way I saw it as an outsider coming into this cultural milieu and saying, okay, here are two people. They see someone wearing a costume that is extravagant and extraordinary, and they say, that's really cool. I want to do that too. So they spend a whole bunch of hours making themselves essentially like a more than human, a something larger than life, and they put it on, and they walk around and let people see them. And if I said, okay, now, did I just describe a Mardi Gras Indian or a cosplayer?
Oh, yeah.
And when I tried to, we did have the panel, and it did happen, but a lot of the culture bearers, when I said I wanted to have this panel where we compared the two, there's no comparison.
Yeah, like, yeah. I can see that.
Okay. All right.
Well, you got a fest happening this weekend. What is happening? Is it one day or a couple of days, and where is it happening? Let's give our WBOK family and listeners some info about that.
I'll start off by saying that anything that I forget to tell you, you can find out by going to blacknerdfestival.com. This year, we have a theme every year that we try and tie all of the content into. And this year, our theme is Once Upon a Resistance. So all of our panels and workshops are geared around that. And a Mr. Will Sutton is actually moderating our writers panel. And so the idea is, with our four main stage panels, we have STEAM, writers, visual artists, and film and TV. And the idea is, Once Upon a Resistance is, we have been fighting oppression for the last 500 years. How has that affected our lives and our stories and our art and our lives? And we go out and we find Black creative professionals that make movies like Sinners and Black Panther and Black comic books and video games and Black professionals in the sciences. And we bring them in, we group them by profession, and we have them speak on panels. In this case, what is it like to be a writer in a field in which Black people are underrepresented, and what types of either overt or covert resistance or oppression have you experienced, and how have you pushed back against it? So that's essentially the question for the visual artists, for the filmmakers, because that's we want to see how you have overcome the specific challenges of your field.
Talk about the energy in the room at Blurred Fest.
Wow. So although we are still relatively modest in size, absolutely everyone loves it, right? Because many people have never experienced anything like this. And really, there has never been an event like ours ever. And I say that because in the same way that Joan Gans Cooney approached Carnegie Corporation back in 69, 70 and said, we educators have recognized that inner city Black children have reading comprehension scores that are lower than their counterparts in other communities. We need to address that wide scale as quickly and as broadly as possible. They thought, well, let's have a TV program, because the television as a medium is addictive. If we could harness and master those addictive properties and then do something positive with it, like teaching kids to read, teaching them the alphabet, teaching them basic numbers. And they thought, okay, well, how do we hold the kids' attention? Let's bring in some Muppets. Let's bring in some celebrities. Let's make some cartoons. Let's make it colorful and fun so we can hold on to their attention long enough to pass along that information that they need. And that's our model. We look like a Black Comic-Con, but really, we're sort of an all-ages live-action Sesame Street, because we feel that, and it's not just we feel, it's an objective reality that the Black community, by any measure, is well behind where we should be. Yeah. So whether you're talking about incarceration rates, recidivism, life expectancy, any quality of life outcome that you can name can tie directly into levels of educational attainment. So if we can increase that education, even if it's just, we don't expect that our event is going to necessarily be the thing that changes someone's life necessarily. But if we can expose them to an idea that they might not have seen or heard before, if we can get people to be aware of something that could then spark their interest to pursue, we think that lives can be changed if we just bring people in contact with the information that could benefit them.
Yeah. All right. So one more time, what day or days is it happening? If somebody says, I can't do it all, what's the best day or time?
So we are still a one-day event. We would like to grow into a multi-day event, but we don't have those resources yet. Yeah. But we are a one-day event. We are this Saturday, which is tomorrow, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are at McDonough 35 High School in Gentilly at 4000 Ron Eagle Way. We have been there for the last several years. We started in 2019. When you come to the event, you will find that we have professional panels. We have fan content, which is essentially us opening the doors to the community to come in and bring their passions about whatever it is they are specifically interested in and teach a workshop, teach a class, lead some sort of learning adventure for the rest of us to share with you, along with cosplay contests, film screenings by teenage student filmmakers with Q&A. We partner with other nonprofits like the Cool Cooperative that teaches film and television techniques to high school students so they will be prepared for either college or careers. We partner with groups like that to add content to the event and also bring in more of that educational and vocational content that we feel the Black community so desperately needs.
All right, so you can find out more about what Drew has been talking about at blacknerdfestival.com.
Yes.
For those of you all who are on YouTube and on Facebook Live, see the T-shirt.
Yes.
Screenshot. And that's where you can go. Yeah, right.
Are we on that one?
Yeah.
Oh, on this one.
Okay, on this one. All right. So that's where you can go and find out more. Hope to see you there. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I won't be doing the cosplay, but I'm a nerd.
There's a lot of nerds, like all those people that were super into like miniature train sets, or Legos. I mean, a nerd by any other name is still as nerdy.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we are going to be in conversation with retired Judge Calvin Johnson. He's been in the news recently, but when he's not in the news, he's all up in and about our community doing good work. And we're going to talk to him about the clerk drama and what happened with that. And we're going to talk with him about, the importance of voting, because voting is so critical. We talk about that very often here at the Good Morning Show. And in fact, want to make sure that I remind you, and I hope to be reminded, Eddie, to say this again before we get off the air, but tomorrow is the last day for you to make changes to your voter registration records on the Go Vote app through the Louisiana Secretary of State's website. So if you want to participate in the June 27th election, and we encourage you to do that, you need to make sure everything's ready to go by tomorrow. Early voting starts on June 12th and ends on the 20th. No voting on the Sundays during that period, June 12th to the 20th. And no votes on June 19th. Why is that? Juneteenth. That's why. Okay? All right, so we'll be talking to Judge Johnson right after the break. This is Will Sutton and Eddie Francis, and we are going to break. It's WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. The New Orleans Police Department is working to keep the public safe this weekend as they expect street takeovers in New Orleans. The NOPD says this weekend's event is on a much larger scale where even more visitors are expected to take part. Officials say those who don't comply with laws could face federal charges. The superintendent of the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority is placed on leave. The superintendent will be paid according to the department, but the reason behind the leave is unclear. The Orleans Levee District Police patrol and inspect levees and flood walls and can have mobile and foot patrols. This leave comes just days into hurricane season. And a Field of Dreams is a step closer to turning on the Friday night lights with two new partnerships. The long-planned 9th Ward Stadium is set to be located near Carver High School. Officials with the project announced that Raising Cane's has been named the official stadium partner, while LCMC has secured naming rights to the playing surface. The project has faced many hurdles that have delayed it for years, but now it appears headed in the right direction. And that is a look at your Friday.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Slightly drier feel to the air as we are looking at slightly lower humidity. Highs today will still be into the low to mid 80s, partly cloudy skies. We're also still looking at some scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms, especially for the afternoon. Not looking at a whole lot, though, compared to previous days. As we are heading into Friday on into the weekend, an increased chance for rain as Gulf moisture starts to move in our area. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reeshaw.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the morning show. For those of you who have been in tune since 702, 704, 06, 8, 10, 12, 20, 21, whatever it is. But if you're just tuning in, it's 7:35 a.m. I'm Will Sutton here with Eddie Francis.
Good
You're
morning.
And staying with me, huh, my man?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I appreciate that. And we're about to jump into conversation with retired Judge Extraordinaire Calvin Johnson, one of the best legal minds in the city and in the state. one of the guys that people look to and ask for counsel and advice as they're considering legal careers, and those who are thinking about being a judge. He's been a role model for so many, and he has retired from that. But I have to tell you, there are a bunch of people who wish he were back on the court these days.
I don't know if that's a bunch.
Yeah, right.
Maybe two. I don't know. Maybe three, but I don't know about a bunch.
All right. Good morning, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, though?
Fabulous, fabulous. I am blessed that the Lord woke me up for yet another day, and I am happy to be here and happy to have the opportunity to engage with our WBOK family of listeners and have a conversation with you. So good morning.
Wow. Good morning to you and to everyone listening to you. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be a part of this process, actually. I very am happy to be a part of it.
Well, good. Well, you go about your business as a retired judge and as a man who is frequently called upon for this service or that service or a contribution, or can you help this organization? And you have consistently done that since you were doing it on the bench, and then you were doing it since you've been off the bench. Why is that kind of community involvement important to you? Why do you keep going like this? I mean, a lot of people are retired, and that means don't bother me.
I guess I'm addicted. I'm an addict in a sense. Because you're right. Why do you continue doing? I guess I am an addict in a fashion, but this is what I'm supposed to do. My father told me in '91, when I was a very brand new judge and I was judging, and my father was there with me, and my father was, I revoked the probation on a guy, revoked his probation, put him in jail, that kind of thing. And I did all of the judgy talk as regards why. And my father came in in the chambers in my office, and I'm still doing that talk. But yeah, I told him to do this, I told him to do that, and he didn't, and da-da-da-da. And my father looked at me and he said, he ain't the problem, you are. All you did was tell him. That's all you did. And so you need to do more than simply tell him. That was 1991. So here I am in 2026 on this radio station trying to do more.
Yeah, all right. Well, for those who weren't around or weren't paying attention or may have forgotten, you established the first mental health treatment court.
Yes.
And that was a part of doing more. Sometimes people think about court, and they think about being judged, and they think about guilty or not guilty. But there's a lot more to court, and one of the things you did was, okay, maybe we can look at the symptom. Maybe we can look at what's leading this person to doing this. And so you established that mental health court. I mean, it didn't exist, and you created that. Why'd you do that?
Well, it came out as regards drug court. In doing drug court, it was obvious in drug court that people were co-occurring. That is they had both a drug issue and a mental health issue. But drug court only dealt with the drug side of that, and it wasn't structured to deal with the other side of it. There was a judge in Florida. This is 2001, maybe 2000, somewhere in that number, but who created the first mental health court. And some of the people, mental health people who, not mental health people, but actually drug addiction providers working with me, told me about that court. And so, okay, if they're doing it in Florida, maybe we can do it here in New Orleans. And that's how the impetus for it started, and that's how it started. But it always around the notion that we couldn't, this is too big a word to use, but I will, to solve the problem of addiction without dealing with the problem of mental illness. We couldn't. And so to deal with it, we had to deal with both.
That, I listened to that, and I mean, I hate to frame it this way, but it seems to me locally you were kind of ahead of your time, because back then I think about the way people talked about addiction, and it was normally, well, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's their, and that's all anybody could say. And it was nothing but blaming them for a condition. And when people, and I remember when people couldn't understand it, they just kind of pushed it aside.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like you were ahead of your time locally in doing that.
Maybe so, but that came as the result of not being able to deal with the realities that I was looking at. That people coming into court for possession of drugs, distribution of drugs, and all those kinds of issues, and seeing starting from the premise that I will tell you, like that 1991 thing I described, but I will tell you what to do, and you need to do this, and if you don't do this, I'm gonna put you in jail.
Yeah.
Well, that's judgy talk, and that's the talk I did until it became clear that ain't working. So we need to come up with other kinds of things if we're going to do things to help people become better. If we're going to do those things, and that resulted in those kinds of interventional pieces happening. There are interventional pieces now in criminal systems all over the place. There's all kinds of interventional courts today. But in the early 90s, those things didn't exist at all. And so here we are.
Well, you got a lot of attention for that, in part for doing it, but then for the results. And that was important. So then it becomes a national motto. And the governor of Louisiana, after your retirement, said, we want more of this. So you became the head of the Metropolitan Human Service District. It's like, okay.
I didn't ask for that. I never asked.
It's like, okay, you created a mental health court.
Why don't you do this? that was totally out of my work process in terms of running a state agency.
Yeah.
That was not what I signed up for. But I did do it.
You did it
because no one. This is true story. No one else would. I'm doing it. Nobody else would take the job.
Right.
And so okay, do it for 6 months. That was the kind of conversation they had with me.
Yeah.
And it ended up being 6 years.
Right. Right. And I bring that up because I think so many people refer to you as Judge Johnson with great respect and for good reason. But you've had a different set of career moves, including that one, which I don't think a lot of people remember or know about. And so that's why I did that. And speaking of career moves, you had another recent one that made the news.
This ought to be on TV. They didn't see my eyes go.
Oh, don't worry. That camera just caught it.
We are live streaming on YouTube and on Facebook.
By the way.
So if you're listening on the radio and you got time, pull over and call up WBOK's YouTube channel or Facebook Live. So Calvin Duncan beat incumbent Darren Lombard to become the Orleans Parish Criminal Court clerk. And he won 68% of the vote. I think a lot of people thought he would win, but probably not by that much. I mean, that's not just a win, that's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
But the legislature, meanwhile, was moving along watching this and saying we've got to get rid of one of these 2 seats. There's a Orleans Parish Civil District clerk, and we had the criminal clerk. A lot of history to why that is and all of that. And they decided 1 is better than 2, not considering a number of other factors. And they seem to really rush and push through elimination of this office so that Calvin Duncan wouldn't be taking his seat and having a term. And part of it seemed to be, yes, we want to reduce the number of officials, elected officials in New Orleans, but part of it seemed to be directed at Calvin Duncan. But meanwhile, as this was happening, the city council decided that this was wrong, and with a vote of 5-2, the city council said this is not right. We have to protect our interests, and one of the things we want to do is we want to appoint an interim Orleans Parish criminal court clerk, and that was you.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah. And so, why did you take on that role, especially with so many things up in the air? And what did you consider that you could do by taking on that role?
Well, to me, it all centered around voting. That is New Orleanians having the right to vote for the person who would become the leader of that office. That is the clerk's office. New Orleans had two offices, a civil and a criminal clerk office. But if you're going to make it a office, that is, if you're going to make it a clerk's office, and no longer these two things separately, Senate and people working at those two separate entities. But if you're going to do that, then the New Orleanians should have the right to elect the person who runs it. Well, what Act 15 of the Legislative Act 15, what it did was, it not only did it eliminate the criminal side of that, but it pushed that what was the criminal side into the civil side and made the civil clerk who was elected as the civil clerk the clerk. So she no longer was the civil clerk, but she became the clerk. Well, if you're going to have the clerk, then New Orleanians should have the right to elect that person. And so when the city council folk, specifically J.P. Morrell, asked me would I do this, the reason that I did it was because of that. That is if this creates the possibility of New Orleanians voting for the person to run it, if this is the actions that we need to take to get it done, count me in, because I'm all down for that. And I recognize, though, that it could only happen by firstly the council doing what it did. Then that generates the legal issue as regards what the legislature did. Well, in fact, that was constitutional, what the legislature did. So that generated the legal issue, and it got to the Supreme Court. But those watching and listening, honestly, I told J.P. Morrell it would not work. That is that you can't win this. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do this. Mm-hmm. Yes, we should do this for simply for the reasons I said. That is it's about voting, and we get to talk about voting. But you can't win this because the makeup of the Supreme Court dictates otherwise. The Supreme Court consists of 5 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And so the Republican legislature, following the Republican governor's edict, those 5 Republican justices are not going to agree with New Orleans. I mean, this is politics. And so we can't ignore the realities of politics. But that doesn't mean, again, that it's something we shouldn't do. Because what it has generated is now these conversations around voting. And so from that perspective, New Orleans won.
Okay. So in relatively short order, as one term ended and a new term began, we had Chelsea Richard Napoleon as the clerk. We had Calvin Duncan as the criminal court clerk. We had Calvin Johnson as the interim clerk. And it seemed like at one point we had 2 and 3 clerks in 24, 36 hours.
Yeah.
How was that working to have each of you thinking you would have a responsibility, but then a few hours go by and it changes?
Well, for Calvin Duncan, it was more problematic than clearly for me, but it was more problematic. He ran for the office. New Orleanians voted overwhelmingly, as you said, overwhelmingly for Calvin Duncan to have that role, to have that position, and for the state to simply by its ability to say no, you can't, and therefore removed him from the office. Well, if you don't have any other words to use around this, it's simply not right. It's just not right. Now we can talk about it in all kinds of legalese, in terms of supporting it or saying that they're incorrect or they're right. All of that just legalese. But just right and wrong, that's wrong. That's simply wrong. It's wrong because, again, as you said, 68% of the people in New Orleans voted for him and voted for him to have that position. And it's just simply not right for the state to have done what the state did. On the other side of this, though, New Orleans ought to have one clerk. I mean, this is the irony of this whole piece. New Orleans should have one clerk. I mean, it should, just like it has one sheriff, just like it has one assessor, it should have one clerk. And just like everywhere else in Louisiana, there is a combined judiciary. There should be a combined judiciary in New Orleans. And I know people listening and watching might not appreciate me saying this, but it simply is, that's true. But what the legislature and the governor did was wrong. You could do the right thing by doing, that is creating a one clerk. You could do the right thing simply by having it staged in time. That is Calvin Duncan will serve his 4 years as clerk, but after 4 years as clerk, New Orleans will have one clerk. And in 4 years, New Orleans will vote for the clerk. 4 years. I mean, heck, we're celebrating 250. We can't wait for. I mean, come on.
I hear you. Well, if I'm summarizing correctly, tell me, or if I'm not. So you're saying they could do it, and they did do it, so there's no argument about whether they can.
Yeah.
But what they did was wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Again, going back to the basis of this, people have the right to vote. Mm-hmm. If you had waited 4 years, people would have voted. People have the right to vote for who leads them. You can't, by governor or legislature, create a person or give that job to a person. That's up to the New Orleanians to choose and to vote for and decide who has or who doesn't have, who doesn't have it.
So as this was going on, you said you shared that with J.P. Moran.
Well, I said it, but he said it to me.
Did you share it with Ms. Napoleon?
Yes,
Mr.
I did.
Duncan?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And Calvin is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Calvin is a close. I've known Calvin for decades.
Yeah.
He is a good friend of mine. But yes, everything I'm saying here, I said then. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about, speaking of voting. It's so important.
Sometimes, and I don't. Now you see, I'm getting into my sweet spot. We talk about voting.
Go for it.
But sometimes we miss, in terms of civil rights, we miss what was the basic piece involved in it. What drove those people? If you go back 70 years, to when MLK and A.L. Davis and Ralph Abernathy and Israel Augustine, who becomes judge in the criminal court, created SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. But it was around voting. We missed this point. Integration and integrating came. But the real impetus was registering people to vote, having the right to vote. Those old people believed, my father being one, that the way to solve our problems was through the ballot. If we could get the ballot, if we could vote, then we could control our reality. That's what they believe. And that still remains. That's still true.
It seems that nobody, though, gets it until they realize their voices aren't being represented.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then that's when everybody says, well, wait a minute, how did this crazy person get into office? And it's like, you got to vote. and then they say, well, voting doesn't solve anything. It's like, yeah, but you were just complaining about the crazy person in office making crazy decisions. What's the next iteration of this conversation so that people understand that there is power in their votes?
Well, having this conversation is a part of that. Talking about voting right now is a part of it. But what came, I think, as regards all of this stuff that happened with the piece as regards the one clerk and all of that stuff that happened. But what did happen 3 Saturdays or 4 Saturdays ago, New Orleans voted in numbers hadn't been seen before in an election like was on the ballot that particular Saturday. New Orleans came out and voted. Now, why did they come out and vote? Because they were, for lack of a better word, can I use P word?
Go ahead.
Because they were pissed.
Every time.
They were pissed off.
Yeah.
And so they showed up and voted. Now, I talked to a friend of mine, and I think a friend of yours, Bob Collins.
Oh, sure.
And I asked him the question, well, Bob, if New Orleanians actually voted in historical numbers, voted in with more than 50% of New Orleanians actually voting, more than 50% actually voting. If that, along with Louisianians, keep in mind, who voted 5 times no on the constitutional amendments, but along with Louisianians, could Louisiana become purple? Could Louisiana become a purple state? Not red, not blue, but purple. And Bob Collins said to me yes, it could.
Yeah.
If you had those kinds of numbers, if New Orleanians specifically and Louisianians also simply voted.
All right, we got a call. Good morning, Reverend Calhoun. You're on Will Sutton, Eddie Francis, and Judge Johnson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I got a quick question. So can the legislatures eliminate an elected office when they get ready? If they decide or determine that there's no more need for that office or that elected position, can they just then shut it down?
Yes.
The other thing I want to know, Judge, if you can help me with this, they have doubled Chelsea's workload. Did they double her salary? Did they giving her any more money for the extra stress and stuff they put on her? So I just like to know, can they do what they want to do in terms of once a person is elected, they can change that? I'll hang up and listen.
All right. Lord's blessings, Reverend Calhoun. Have a great day.
In terms of the legislature doing what it did, yes, it can. The guardrail would be the courts. That is, that 3 branches of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. Well, the guardrail is the judicial. But if the judicial is not going to form that guardrail as regards the constitutional right or rights are not going to enforce them, then the legislature can do whatever it chooses. That's how government functions. And so, yes, can they do it? Absolutely, yes. As regards Chelsea, she's still getting paid as the clerk of the civil district court,
right?
Not as the clerk. And so, if I was her, I would be. Wait a minute, when do I get a raise? I mean, I would be arguing that myself.
That's what you voted for.
Yes.
But you didn't make that.
You didn't give me his salary.
Yeah, right.
You didn't give me his salary. You just you
Absolutely.
kept me with my salary.
All right.
So hey.
Good morning, Alicia. You're on with Will Sutton and Eddie Francis, and of course Judge Johnson.
Good morning, everybody. There's so much I want to say. I'm going to try to wrap it all up quickly.
Okay.
Number one, Judge, I heard you say about there's 5 Republicans in the Supreme Court of Louisiana and 4 Democrats. My question is, what does it matter, the political party, if they're following the law? The law is the law is the law, and these political factions should have nothing to do with that if they're all following the law. Another thing I think we got wrong, well, y'all got wrong because I was too young for that, but the separate but equal, to me, the fact of the matter, it should have been more about equal. I could care less my child sitting next to a white girl. I could care less if my child is sitting next to another race. I want to make sure that my child has the resources that white school has. And I think that's the thing that we missed. And lastly, when it comes to monies and funding, when you have Israel still get billions of dollars, and we were not the oppressor. The Japanese, they got money for internment, rightfully so. The Vietnamese came here with a welfare package, but yet they still don't give the descendants of blacks who built this country on tortured, murderous, free labor, and we don't get it. Lastly, I think it's terrible that Chelsea is taking the brunt of this. She had nothing to do with this. She had nothing to do with making these decisions, and I think it's so unfair that people are attacking Chelsea for that.
All right. Good points, Alicia. Lord's blessings. Have a great day.
Alicia is correct, though, about Chelsea, and that she didn't go to Baton Rouge and ask them to do this. She didn't do that, and that's just absolutely correct.
Yep.
And so we shouldn't just simply, we're going to blame Chelsea. Well, we're blaming the wrong person. Absolutely blaming the wrong person. And that's simply, again, not right.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to our friend Kelly Schultz from New Orleans and Company about some of the things that have been going on and will be going on, and what was the impact of Sale 250? Looks like a lot of people showed up. What that looked like with locals and with visitors, we'll talk to her about that and much more. Thank you, Judge Johnson, for joining us this morning on the Good Morning Show. Insightful, as always, and appreciate your coming and making time to help make sense of what just happened and to help us put in context the legislature and the judiciary as well.
I really appreciate y'all. Thank you. Keep doing what you do, brother. Keep doing it.
All right. Okay, we're going to break. WBLK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Key races remain undecided after primaries in 6 states. In California, Steve Hilton leads the governor's race. Hilton addressed voters.
I can tell you now, we're going to fight for you, we're going to fight for change, and we won't let you down.
Meanwhile, an Iowa upset marked the first loss for a Trump-endorsed candidate. Congressman Randy Feenstra conceded to businessman Zach Lon. A University of Florida presidential candidate is outlining his vision. Stuart Bell said he'll focus on merit, excellence, and free expression while rejecting DEI policies as trustees prepare to vote next week on his nomination. Previously, he was president of the University of Alabama. And A$AP Rocky is finally speaking out after a shooting at his Los Angeles home. He says the March 8th incident shook his sense of peace for his family with Rihanna after Ivana Lisette Ortiz was arrested and charged with attempted murder for allegedly firing shots at the property. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Eddie Francis. Quite a conversation with the judge. I mean, we could have gone on for another 40, 50, 60 minutes.
I was going to say, we could have done the whole show.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
mean, wow. I'm going to have to see if we can get it back sometime. But great insight about what happened in his context of what happened with the whole clerk thing.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I mean, the judge has had a low profile in the days since that drama was resolved, but clearly he has strong opinions about what happened. Look, we're going to jump into conversation with our friend Kelly Schultz from the New Orleans and Company. Good morning, Kelly. You're on with Will and Eddie.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Eddie. Thank you for having me.
Morning.
Always a pleasure. Well, New Orleans and Company is always busy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 12, 15, 20 things or so. A lot of them people may not see, but you all are hard at work making sure that promoting the city of New Orleans and all we have to offer. But people certainly noticed Sale 250. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff, not just on the news and in the newspaper, but over social media with people's individual pics and videos and people going back and long lines and people, some people, it's like, I don't want to stand in line, but there were other people not only stood in a line, stood in multiple lines to see these ships. So in the end, you all tracked some numbers. What did this look like?
We did. Well, it was hard to miss these beautiful ships lined up along the riverfront. I hope everyone had a chance to go and see it. It was really spectacular and something that we don't see very often at all. But we did. We pulled some numbers to see how many people went to the riverfront last week between May 28th and 31st, which were the dates of Sale 250. And our data is telling us that 125,000 visitors came to the riverfront. So that's a lot of people. If you were down there, you felt like there were a lot of people there. There was a lot of activity. And we compared that to how, the visitation was the same time on those dates in 2025. And it was a 500% increase in the number of people.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
So really just goes to show that, there's a reason why we pursue these big events. Sale 250, we were the first stop of any city for this national celebration for America's 250th birthday. So the ships were here from all over the world and many, many U.S. vessels as well. And then they left on Monday and are going to Virginia, New York, Boston, and Baltimore, where they will continue the celebration of America 250. So we were really honored to be the first city. Hopefully we set the bar and raise the bar for all of the sailors and military personnel who were able to enjoy New Orleans.
Well, it was an incredible event. And actually, I'll say an incredible series of events. Because each day there were tall ships and military ships over there, but there were other events associated with that, and some private tours and some activities, the events, the public tours on the different ships, and open at different times on different days, and of course the fabulous fireworks show on that Saturday night. But you don't get to host these things if you don't raise your hand and make a pitch.
Right. Well, we were happy to make that pitch, and this was very much of a partnership. I mean, New Orleans and Company was involved, and Mark Romig on our team really led everything. But Our CEO, Walt Leger, was everywhere. The mayor was everywhere throughout the week. But it was a team effort. I mean, there was the Port of New Orleans, the U.S. military, many local sponsors and partners were involved in bringing this together. And it was a lot of different events. I mean, you mentioned the fireworks. Some of the most beautiful images I've ever seen of this city are of fireworks over those tall ships along the riverfront from last Saturday night. There was a seafood cook-off. There were the tours of the ships. There were Jackson Barracks. There was a 21-gun salute on the first day. So there was a family fun event. So there was a lot of different things, and we're really glad that people went out to take advantage of it. And it does. It is a massive undertaking of work and sponsorship and fundraising and execution, but we did it. And again, we're glad people were able to enjoy it. We had many visitors here, but also a lot of locals came out, which was great to see.
Yep, indeed.
So, Kelly, I love to eat. And Restaurant Week is coming up. So tell us about Restaurant Week New Orleans.
That's right. Well, it's funny you said that because Restaurant Week used to be called We Love to Eat, or We Live to Eat, actually. We live to eat.
Yeah, I do both of those, yeah.
which is pretty true, I think. But yes, Restaurant Week is kicking off on Monday. It goes from June 8th through the 14th. And there are almost 75 restaurants around the city in every neighborhood that are doing special menu options. So you can get a 2-course lunch or a 2-course brunch for $25. There are 3-course dinners for $32. And then there's also an option for a premium 3-course dinner, which is $56. So this is a great opportunity to get out maybe to a new neighborhood, or if there's been a restaurant you wanted to try, this is a way to do it at a really good price point.
Well, having participated previously, I like the idea of having the price points and making a selection and, going to some place I hadn't heard of before or been meaning to go to, and it's like, well, this is my reason to go.
And it's every neighborhood too. I mean, that's the nice thing about it. I mean, there are places in the Bywater, in Treme, you've got places downtown. You have, of course, the French Quarter. There are places in Jefferson Parish and Harahan. So really, no matter where you are, there are options for many different restaurants, many types of food, and many different neighborhoods.
Now, one of the things I'd like to know is why do certain restaurants agree to participate in this? Because, they all have menus, and I'm sure all of them are not, $25 for a 2-course lunch. I mean, you can spend $50 on lunch if they are eating and drinking. But they agree to participate with a 2-course this and a 2-course brunch and a 3-course dinner. And what's the value of participating and say, or during this week, we're going to do it this way?
Well, a lot of cities, if you look at Miami and New York and other big cities, they typically will do a restaurant week. And it's really, hopefully, the publicity they're getting from this show and from all of the other marketing we're doing is just a way to remind people to get out and support our restaurants. We know that the summer is traditionally a slower time for tourism, and so that's why we partnered with Louisiana Restaurant Association on this particular Restaurant Week promotion. But then we do something similar in August called Culinary New Orleans, and it's a similar idea where you can get prefix menus at different price points, really good prices at many restaurants around the city. So I think the restaurants agree to do this because they want to invite people in and say, maybe you haven't had an opportunity to come in and try our restaurant, and we'd like you to experience it. And we hope that these prices are accessible for everyone. And again, this is something we're marketing to visitors regionally, and we want people to come in from all over the region and the country to experience these deals in our restaurants. But it's also a great way to really connect with the local community.
Well, I know you can't name 75, but can you name a few so we have some idea of what types of restaurants are participating?
Yeah, so let me see. I've got some in front of me here. So Annunciation, Gabrielle, Arno's, Commander's Palace, Cafe Degas, Redfish Grill, Brasa, which is a steakhouse, Galachois, Bourbon House. There's a lot. There's, in Jefferson Parish, there is Copeland's and Zia's out near Harahan, like in the Elmwood area. Mid-City, you've got Cafe Noma, Katie's, Ralph's on the Park. So a lot of variety, a lot of neighborhoods.
Wow. That's a good selection right there. And there are many more on that list. So what is Gumball 3000?
Gumball 3000 is another big event. You know, we had a fantastic Sale 250 last week. We also had the North America's 50 Best Restaurants Awards ceremony in town. And then we're always working to bring in new business to the city. And one of those things is called Gumball 3000, which is an event that's happening this weekend, actually. And it's basically a car show that is going to be, it goes around to different cities, and they'll be in New Orleans with a showing of cars. It'll be on Bourbon Street and throughout the French Quarter. So this is something that each car is driven by kind of a celebrity or an influencer or some kind of a sports legend. And they will parade down Bourbon Street. And then they also, it's a great event for the city, but then they also have raised $2 million for youth projects around the world through this event, and they're hoping to do that again this year.
Well, that sounds like a fascinating thing. I mean, I'm not likely in my lifetime to have these kinds of cars.
Me neither.
But I do like seeing them. So that sounds like a wonderful opportunity. Of course, Essence Fest has been in the news recently as they rev up for the annual July event. So from New Orleans and Company perspective, what's that looking like?
Yeah, it's looking good. And actually some of our Essence clients are in town this week and doing a series of events. So I'm going to see some of those folks later today. And Essence will be here before we know it. Starts July 3rd. It's always the highlight of the July 4th weekend. This year they've got some pretty big names, including Cardi B and Patti LaBelle. So this is one of those events that really showcases why we're built to host. You have activities at the Caesars Superdome. You also have activities at the Montreal Convention Center. It brings a lot of influential, not only artists, but journalists, newsmakers, and this year they're going to have First Lady Michelle Obama, which there is a lot of excitement around that.
So Kelly, I've never tried to skateboard before, but I have lots of friends who love to skateboard, and they love to do. Even at our age, some folks are still trying to skateboard, and that brings me to X Games. So I know some folks who actually really get into X Games, so they might be pretty pleased to find out that we're going to have the X Games Championship here in New Orleans.
That's right. This is another thing that we've worked hard on and we're excited about. So if you follow X Games, they have events this summer in Sacramento, I believe, or San Diego, and also in Japan. And then they're coming to New Orleans for the MoonPay X Games League, which is going to be July 24th through the 26th. So there are going to be 18 different medal events. I also do not skateboard or do any of these sports, but it's skateboarding, BMX, motocross. Like, the athletes who compete in this thing are incredibly talented.
Yeah.
They have a huge following. We're expecting a lot of people to come in and pack the Caesars Superdome, but then also, of course, go out and enjoy the city over the 3 days that they're here. And so in addition to the X Games, they've got concerts happening as well. So you'll have different artists performing as part of the X Games, and we're expecting big crowds.
All right.
So what is the World Cup event that you have? So, I mean, I know we say football, but there are lots of other people around the world who mean something else when they say football. And now there's this wild thing that happens called World Cup, and we're tapping into that.
Yeah, well, there's the FIFA World Cup going on in the U.S. right now, and I know the teams are starting to arrive, and unfortunately New Orleans doesn't have one of the matches, but what we've done is work with FIFA and work with the U.S. Travel Association and really encourage, if you're coming to the U.S. for one of these games, maybe you're in Dallas or Houston or somewhere nearby, we've encouraged them to plan a trip to New Orleans alongside of that trip. And there's also, though, another type of World Cup that we're hosting, and that's called the Pastry World Cup. So this is another big event that we've brought in for the end of July, and it is a culinary competition, and literally the best pastry chefs in the world compete for this, and they are awarded something called the Pastry World Cup at the end. It is really, it is a spectacular thing to see what these pastry chefs can create. It is like works of art that they develop, and they're going to be doing all of that here at our convention center at the end of July.
Wow. Well, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I would like to attend that World Cup.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's this thing called the Pastry World Cup, and then that's the pastry competition. And then there's another competition with other types of food, and that's called Bocuse d'Or. So 2 years ago, we brought this event to New Orleans. It was the first time ever in North America. So these chefs from all throughout North America will compete for the title of the America's champion. And then they'll do that here in New Orleans. And then whoever wins that competition, the winning Bocuse teams and the winning pastry team, will go on to Lyon, France in January, and they'll compete for the finals. So at the finals, you have the winners that were crowned here in New Orleans, but you'll also have the winners from every other continent in the world. And so there are tickets. People can come and watch this competition. I was there 2 years ago. It is incredible watching these chefs compete and the intensity in which they compete. And then there are New Orleans chefs who are helping serve as judges and part of the jury to decide who has the best dish, which is pretty unbelievable competition from some of the best chefs literally in the world.
Wow. Well, that is quite a thing. And Eddie, I don't know if I could sit there and not want to walk over and pick up something. So I guess I'd have to eat.
Yeah. I'm snatching a cupcake off somebody's table. It's just gonna happen. I'm sorry, you don't get to put that strawberry on top, sir. I'm taking that.
Yeah. So, Chef, I'm sorry you didn't qualify for the next round, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I kind of like what you did.
Just leave all that stuff right there, sir. I need that. I want that.
Okay. So what about what's happening, getting ready for as a host city for IPW 2027?
IPW is a big deal, and we're going to be talking about this a lot over the next year. This is a conference of the United States Travel Association, and it is thousands of people, and it's completely focused on bringing international visitors to the United States. This event goes to a different city every year, and we get to host it in New Orleans next year. So recently it was held in Florida. Several of us went to Florida, and this is a show where we sit down with international tour operators, travel agents, also journalists who write stories about travel, and our sole focus is to pitch New Orleans. And they have international clientele who are looking for places to visit. We, of course, want them to select the United States and selfishly select New Orleans and Louisiana. So we were in Florida for the event this year, and I cannot tell y'all how excited people are to be coming to New Orleans for this event next year. We haven't had this in our city since 2016. So it's been 10 years, and people still talk about what we did at this conference. I mean, we put people on Mardi Gras floats. We closed down Jackson Square. It was a phenomenal, beautiful showcase of the city, and they are so excited to be coming here. We had Robin Barnes perform at a press conference.
Oh, my goodness.
And we had 300 international journalists second lining around a ballroom. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. And so what this means for us is, it'll be a huge event, but the real benefit is kind of the ripple effect, right? Because all of these international journalists will go home and write positive stories about New Orleans. They'll air beautiful TV segments for their audiences to see, and then we'll book a lot of business. We'll book a lot of tour groups and travel agents will decide to include New Orleans in their programming as a result of being here.
Well, I'm sure you and others had a good time as you were taking care of business at Fort Lauderdale. But here's a guess. There were people there who were there because that's their job, and they did as much business and had as much fun as they could. But they were really excited about the following year. Heading to New Orleans. And for those who were having tighter budgets in the last year or two, they were probably saving to get to New Orleans for this one.
That's right. Fort Lauderdale, they were a great host city. We were partners with them. They did a really good job. But we did hear that some folks were like, I may not go this year because I'm going to, save that investment for New Orleans next year. So there is a lot of excitement around our city. And, at the end of the day, what it means is really just having a constant stream of a boost to our economy and just, when visitors are in town, it is helping our economy, it's helping our community. And that's what we do so well. We love to show off our city and our culture and showcase that to people who aren't from here. And it's really fun to be able to have to explain that and get them to experience it for the first time.
All right, Kelly. Well, thank you so much for joining us right here on the Good Morning Show. Love when you join us and tell us about the wonderful things that are happening and coming. And that's quite a lineup. And if people want to find out more, what can they do? Where can they go? How can they find out more about what you've been talking about?
They can go to our website, which is neworleans.com. And there's going to be lots of volunteer opportunities, too, by the way, for IPW. So if folks are interested in looking to volunteer, kind of like we did with the Super Bowl, we'll have those opportunities being published over the next couple of months.
All right. Very good. All right. Lord's blessings and have a fabulous day.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Eddie.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. We're going to go to break, folks. And when we come back, we're going to be with our friends from Liberty Bank, Dr. Angel Burns, and she's bringing a guest. Deborah Robertson, bossless of Epsilon Sigma alumni chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho. So that'll be coming up shortly. This is WBLK 1230 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. The New Orleans Police Department is working to keep the public safe this weekend as they expect street takeovers in New Orleans. The NOPD says this weekend's event is on a much larger scale where even more visitors are expected to take part. Officials say those who don't comply with laws could face federal charges. The superintendent of the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority is placed on leave. The superintendent will be paid according to the department, but the reason behind the leave is unclear. The Orleans Levee District police patrol and inspect levees and flood walls and can have mobile and foot patrols. This leave comes just days into hurricane season. And a Field of Dreams is a step closer to turning on the Friday night lights with 2 new partnerships. The long-planned 9th Ward Stadium is set to be located near Carver High School. Officials with the project announced that Raising Cane's has been named the official stadium partner, while LCMC has secured naming rights to the playing surface. The project has faced many hurdles that have delayed it for years, but now it appears headed in the right direction. And that is a look at your Friday headlines for you. Have a great day, everyone, and a great weekend.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period, so they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review.
For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
Looking for a great deal on your next phone? Come see us at your locally owned AT&T store for the latest Samsung and iPhones. Visit us at 3616 South Carrollton Avenue. We have great offers on watches, tablets, accessories, and internet service. Whatever your connectivity needs are, our team is here to help you keep connected. Visit us today at AT&T, 3616 South Carrollton Avenue. Locally owned and proudly giving back to the community.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. DebtFix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for DebtFix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call DebtFix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Slightly drier feel to the air as we are looking at slightly lower humidity. Highs today will still be into the low to mid 80s, partly cloudy skies. We're also still looking at some scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms, especially for the afternoon. Not looking at a whole lot, though, compared to previous days. As we are heading into Friday on into the weekend, an increased chance for rain as Gulf moisture starts to move in our area. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Eddie Francis.
Good morning.
As always, quite a good conversation with Kelly about things going on and what success would sell 250. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's quite an increase of attendance and all for that weekend. And if you're just tuning in, you are right on time because we're jumping into conversation with our friend Angel Burns from Liberty Bank. And she's brought a guest, Deborah Robinson, Bossless of Epsilon Sigma alumni chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. You dressed in your colors.
Yes, sir, always. Representing.
Well, Angel, we're going to jump into conversation about what you are doing with Sigma Gamma Rho. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, you attended an event and a prominent figure in our community was recognized. Tell us about that.
It was an amazing night last night. Junior Achievement of Greater New Orleans recognized lots of amazing businessmen and women and contributors in the community. But the Lifetime Achievement Award honoree was Ronnie V. Burns Sr. Oh, my goodness. Alden McDonald introduced him.
Who is Alden McDonald?
He is the CEO of Liberty Bank.
Yeah, for those who might not know.
And he was our president for 50 years, and now his son Todd McDonald is our president. Yes. And so he is a legacy in and of his own.
Yeah.
But for Mr. Mack to stand up there on the stage and talk about his relationship with Ronnie and just talk about all the amazing things that Mr. Ronnie has done for our community, it was just amazing. I can't tell you how amazing it was. You think you know a person and you're proud to know them and call them a friend, but then when you hear the history behind the work and, you know, and the ups and the downs and you just keep getting up, it was amazing. And so I think he's probably been an amazing mentor to so many of us. So shout out to Mr. Ronnie Burns, Sr.
Dillard University grad.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
And he's done things with Greater New Orleans Foundation and founded a variety of businesses. And it doesn't carry the Burns name, but I'm sure you've used some of these businesses and services.
He put the E in entrepreneurship.
Well, he is the epitome of what one of my friends told me that he learned from Quincy Jones. If you're going to be successful, it's wonderful to earn a paycheck during the day, but can you earn money while you sleep?
Yes, yes, that passive income.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I haven't gotten there.
I want to get there when I grow up too.
I just rest so I can earn again.
There we go. Yes.
But Ronnie Burns, he's that deep into business success.
Yeah.
So, Angel,
Yes.
you all are at Liberty Bank, very supportive of the community and community activities. And, of course, you got to make some choices, but you all have decided to support Sigma Gamma Rho. Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, we're really excited to be one of the sponsors for the Women's Wellness Initiative, and that's why we have invited Miss Deborah Robertson, Basilisk Deborah Robertson, to come here and tell us all about it. And Liberty Bank will be one of the we're one of the sponsors, and we've also been graciously invited to be one of the workshop presenters as well.
Oh, great!
But I'd like to defer to Miss Deborah. Take it away.
All right.
Good morning out there. Sigma Gamma Rho is an organization that is one of the sororities of the Divine Nine, and one of our hallmarks, one of our greatest initiatives is women wellness. Yes. And so annually we put on several programs that address the health, mental health, physical health, the financial health of women and children in our community. So under our program director, our chapter national program director, Dr. Curly McGuire, she has pulled together a phenomenal activity that will be taking place on June 13th of next weekend from 10 to 2, with the doors opening at from 10 to 1, I'm sorry, and where we will be addressing those very issues. And with the help and support of Liberty Bank, which it will be at their headquarters on Chapatulas, 1730 Chapatulas, which, of course, you always need a facility for these events.
Yes.
You know, the bigger it is, the more space you need. And we will be addressing, like, say, various things. We have physical health. We have a new fit movement owned and operated by Yana Newell, who will be doing things with movement and body and showing us how to breathe and how to relax and how to, because, you know, as women, we do a lot. You know, nothing personal, men, but as women, you know, we're raising kids and we're working and we're keeping homes, and we rarely take time for ourselves. And there's just simple things that we can do to relax our bodies and our minds. And then we'll be looking at heart health, because, you know, the heart is big, but we have to take care of it. So, you know, we'll be doing stuff to make sure that we're protecting our hearts, and as well as engaging in CPR for our little ones to make sure that they're still around and those who need help. Definitely mental health. We will be working with the Ballard Institute, who will be talking about, you know, we got a lot going on today. Even our children, they seeing what's going on in the news and they're hearing things, and you know, as parents, we need to know how to dress them and how to comfort them, to make them comfortable. You know, I have a young adult, and that makes her nervous. It makes her nervous about the world that she's engaging in right now. Yeah. And then, of course, you always have to have counseling and consulting. You know, we don't like to talk too much about counseling. We don't want to tell anybody about our problems. But reality about it is, sometimes we need to sit down and talk to somebody.
Yes.
And so to let them know it's okay if you need to talk to somebody and seek some help. And then you got to take care of the body with some nutrition. We'll be working with Main Squeeze Juice Company. I just approved that check. So, all right. So that we can provide some nutritious food and stuff. And then, of course, you can't live in this world without some financial resources.
Isn't that the truth?
Liberty Bank, who has been a proud supporter of us in several programs, actually, you know, in different things. One of our sorors work for you all as well. So, yes. So Liberty Bank will be on hand to give a workshop on how we can, like you say, sleep and make money, hopefully. So, but we invite everyone 18 years and older, all women 18 years and older, to come out. You can check us out on our webpage, which is www.epsilon-sigma.com. Or our Facebook page, which you know is hey, just put in Epsilon Sigma. See? But it's Epsilon Sigma Alumni Chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
So on the webpage, you don't use exquisite.
You've been researching. Because we are the exquisite sorors of Epsilon Sigma.
It's the journalist, yes.
And on our Instagram page, epsilon.sigma. No, we don't say exquisite, but we are exquisite.
Yes. You beat me to it, actually.
boy.
I like that. Very good, gentlemen. You get an A+ today.
They
You know, being a teacher that I am.
That comes from the recognized teacher of the year, the educator. You were awarded, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
I was.
Not everybody gets that.
And I was awarded by a student. That's what makes it so personal.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I have been Teacher of the Year several times by my colleagues.
Yeah.
But to actually be recognized by a student who, you know, matriculated through my classroom, I taught her 3 years straight. I love the family. And the student is so, you know, and she's one of those students that family, they kind of indoctrinate into where they go, what schools they're going to go to, because everybody pretty much have gone to the same schools. And what made it so wonderful, and because she didn't tell me anything, she just called and said, "Can I nominate you?" Her mama asked, "Can she nominate you for Teacher of the Year?" And I said, sure. You know, if I win, great. And she never read the story to me. And then when she read the story to me, I just fell apart at the ceremony. And as to, because, you know, in her school, at her high school, they allowed them to pick one teacher who was instrumental in their lives, who made a difference in their lives. And she said that I gave her that self-confidence to be her own person, to follow her own journey, and to do, to go to the school she wanted to go to and make the changes she wanted, and not just follow her family journey. And I was like, oh my Lord. And not to mention, she's such a phenomenal student. Just a phenomenal student, a phenomenal person. And she's one of our rowers. Because
cool.
Sigma Gamma
Very
Rho
cool.
is one of the Divine Nines that actually have something from every female from age 8 to death.
Yeah.
We have our rosebuds who are 8 to 11 years old. We teach that, we introduce them to teas and you know, in arts, the art and music and stuff. And then we have our rowers, which is age 12 to 18, which we guide through high school and teaching confidence and leadership skills, and developing that, and developing their academics and working with them. And then, of course, we have our collegiate, which is on various college campuses, where we have our collegiate girls, which, of course, you got to have that GPA, because, you know, we them smart girls, we them pretty pools with the intelligence. And then, of course, our alumni chapter. And then we even have another affiliate club called Our Follows, which are friends of Sigma. And they're not necessarily, they're women who are non-degreed, but we recognize that they are interested in service as well, and interested in our tenets and our values. And so they as well have the opportunity to join us in our mission and our goals. And they will be there as well on Saturday. They participate in the same activities. They do the same initiatives. They go to the conferences. It's just that they have their own group of women that they work with, and they support us and we support them. So you looking for a place, we're it.
All right.
Very cool.
Hence, exquisite. So, Dr. Burns, this sounds like an incredible lineup, wonderful opportunity, very helpful for lots of people. What is Liberty Bank doing at the program? So it's wonderful that you all are supporting it, but you're actually presenting, and what do you hope to achieve with that?
Yeah, we hope to engage. Well, I specifically will be the facilitator, so I'm very excited.
Okay.
So my goal is to facilitate a conversation that will take a multi-generational approach, because just like Deborah described, 18 and older. So, you know, there probably will be a wide range of ages there. And so we are all in different journeys with our financial wellness. And what's important for me is to acknowledge the importance between mental wellness, physical wellness associated with financial wellness. I know a lot of times people say, oh, money's not everything. Well, it sure helps to have some. And what I've also heard recently someone say, it's not important how much money you have, but Latricia, your soror, said this, it's important how much of the money you have that you keep. So talking about, that's another way to talk about managing money. You know, we can have goals to earn more money and create more passive income and start a new business. All those goals are important, but also taking care of yourself and the money that you do have access to right now. How do you manage that money? You know, we've talked about this before on the show. You can get up in the morning, and before you even get out of bed, you have that phone in your hand. You can get onto these big companies, get free shipping, and have things delivered sometimes before the end of the day. It's so easy to make impulse purchases, but we got to stay focused on what are our short-term goals, what are our long-term financial goals, and how can we get there? How can we protect our retirement? We're starting to talk a lot about compounding interest. A lot of times people will not take advantage of matching retirement plans, or they'll wait to start saving, or they'll cash out early, thinking I'm young, I can make this money back. I made this in 5 years, I can make it again in 5 years. But the problem is a lot of people don't realize that compounding interest. And so we're trying to just kind of give a whole lot of information in a short period of time that will hopefully resonate with all the women in the audience. So we're hoping everybody will come out and take advantage.
Yes.
So it's next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
June 13th, 10 to 1 p.m.
Yeah, please come out.
And you got a good location, and that is at Liberty Bank, right?
It's a beautiful location. We're on the river. The barges go by. So while we're getting fit and we're getting our mind right in the morning and getting ready for a beautiful day, beautiful artwork. I mean, it's just the perfect setting for a wellness conference to empower women. And we sure hope people come out.
So, Basilis Robertson, do you have to be a Sigma Gamma Rho soror to attend?
Oh, no. I know it did. I sure hope not, because I sure spread it around everywhere I go. I dropped it off at church. I dropped it off with my carnival crew. I had flyers at work. No, you do not have to be a member of Sigma Gamma Rho to attend this event. That's the whole purpose of Sigma Gamma Rho. It's greater service, greater progress. If our entire community comes together, we all become one healthy community, then, we all win. Yeah. We all win. Whether you wear raw blue or gold, or red and white, or pink and green, or no colors whatsoever, or blue and white. Oh, I'm sorry, Zetas. Blue and white. Okay? Yes. It doesn't matter. We just want women and children to be healthy in this community.
Well, you got an alpha man and an omega man here.
All right now.
And we appreciate the work that you are doing, and because community service is so important. We each have our different approaches or our different kind of themes and all, but it's the work that goes from, through each organization and each chapter.
Right.
And each individual soror or brother that makes things happen. And
definitely.
Unless something has changed, they're not paying you to be bossless of Epsilon.
No, you're not. No.
But it can be like having another job.
Yeah.
It's not like having another job. It is another job. Yeah, I love you, my sisters. But it is another job. Yeah. It's a daily job.
Good Lord, I've been a grad chapter president. Ooh, Lord. By the way, Jacqueline Wilmore, one of our listeners, says, "Hey, Deborah."
Hello, good morning, Jacqueline. Hey, Jackie.
Oh, boy.
Is there a part of this that you find, Deborah, where women have a lot of I didn't know that moments, whether it's physical health, financial health, heart health, or mental health? I mean, just in conversation, where you've heard women say, you know what, I really do need to get better at this, or I want to learn more about this.
Most definitely. I mean, in a sorority, outside of the sorority, life is, you jump in, especially when you are, let's think about it, we're talking about collegiate organizations. So, we know what we're supposed to do. We go from school to college. Mm-hmm. Then we know from college we have to get a job. We really don't rarely stop to think about the mental toll and the physical toll that it takes. All we know is we're scuffling to make sure we're paying that fee bill. Yep. We're getting those books, that we have to get that job because once you graduate, you need your own apartment. Yeah. You need your own space. We want your car,
Yes.
And so we not tell, we have to stop to think about what all it takes. And then if you one of those people that, you're in love and now you want to be married and now you have kids, I'm a victim of it. I kid you not. I lived the American dream. I fell for the American dream. I fell for you graduate, you do your best in high school, then you go straight to college. And then that's why I'm not even 60 yet and I'm retired from education after 30 something years already.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Because I did exactly what okay, you're supposed to be married by the time you finish college.
Yeah.
You got home, you got to own that home. I owned that home. When I came down the aisle, I had my keys in my hand. Yeah. So, I went from my parents' house to my job, to my house, to my husband's house, and so it wasn't until I got a little older that I said, oh, wait, hold up, something's missing here. Me. Taking care of me.
Yeah.
Because now you got children and you're moving about. So yes, periodically throughout our lives, we have to just be reminded. And that's what, and I'm a late Divine Nine. I'm a late. I did it later in life.
Okay.
I was struggling. I'm like, I don't have time for that, to gather around with a bunch of women and play and not realize, doing the reality of it. So when I joined Sigma Gamma Rho, I learned a lot about, the purpose of Divine Nines and what we do. And it's not just scholarship and sisterhood and brotherhood, that there is something that's, and it helps, and then we help each other. Yeah. The nurses in the organization, they check on you and make sure, are you well? COVID was the perfect time for Divine Nines to check on each other and understand the importance of mental health and financial health, because we weren't working, that many of us outside of our homes. We're mentally struggling. So yes, I hear a lot of people say, oh yeah. And so we're trying to catch our younger generation now so they don't make, that's what we have to do, right? Pour into the next generation so they won't make the same mistakes. Take time for yourself. Recognize the need for yourself. Mm-hmm. Develop now. I happen to be, Liberty Bank is not new in my life.
Oh, that's good.
My parents were entrepreneurs, and my first savings account was with Liberty Bank.
Well, all right.
So, I happen to have a father who guided me financially. Just didn't have anybody mentally, so I'm a little crazy now.
Yeah.
But
Yep. I get it. Yeah. But cray in a positive way.
Yes, in a positive.
It's like, why isn't that done? Let's get it done.
Yes.
And that's why your chapter is known for strong support of the community and involvement. And so we really appreciate you, Dr. Burns, bringing
thank you for having us.
Yes,
regular
thank you.
visits to the Good Morning Show, WBOK, and identifying good folks to accompany you, and your support of Sigma Gamma Rho is much appreciated. Thank you for pulling together this workshop, June 13th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Women's Wellness Initiative, and that's going to be at Liberty Bank's administrative building, 1730 Chapatula Street. So if you haven't been over that way, just plug in the address, hit Waze or whatever you use, and
come join us.
And you can
come join us.
Come and have a good time and get a lot of good information.
Doors open at 9:30 a.m.
All right, sounds good.
And I have a shameless plug. I'm not
What's
gonna
that?
tell you no lie. Essence Festival Sigma Gamma Rho has all 10 tours down.
Ooh.
We have events on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th.
Okay.
We will be we have 5 initiatives. We will be enacting 3 of our initiatives here in New Orleans, sponsored by our regional chapter and our national chapter, our national organization and our regional organization, but spearheaded by Epsilon Sigma and our sister chapter here, Epsilon Phi Sigma.
Very nice.
We will be doing a Swim 1922.
I love that program.
The second, we will be working at the Second Harvest Food Bank. We don't just come in and party. We party with a purpose.
All right, very good.
And then
we're
we'll be
gonna
working
wrap up and make room for the front porch. I'm Will Sutton. I've been with Eddie Francis, and we're going to wrap up for the day. But stay tuned, because the front porch is coming up next, and then we got Tavis Smiley, and of course G-Man in the reality check a little later this afternoon. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. Oh.